The Asbestos Safety and Eradication Act 2013. So what we'll be talking about is the Act, and also looking at asbestos and the legislation, how that is controlled, and we'll go through one of the asbestos reports in part 2 of the series. So let's look at the bill. So the bill was introduced on 1st of July 2013. Now, from the Asbestos Safety and the Eradication Agency, they were formed out of this bill. So this is a little bit of a background of asbestos and working the impacts of what's been happening in the building industry, where asbestos has been used in roofing and building products over a number of years, and from the white asbestos has caused an impact on people that are doing renovations and builders. So by having poor maintenance and disturbing the fibres has got into people's lungs, and it's a terrible disease to have, that's for sure. So with the regulation of asbestos has been a little bit low over the last couple of years. Under the Workplace Health and Safety Act, there was a management system that went in for managing the health and that of asbestos, and the purpose of this act is to help people to, well, the removal of asbestos related products in Australia. So underneath the Workplace Health and Safety regulations, we need to have an asbestos register on site for buildings before 2003 to make sure that that's been identified. So what we can look at here, so here's our contact details. You can talk to either us or Sydney about this with any of your inquiries. So what we'll do now, we'll look at one of the asbestos reports. So this is a asbestos report, a sample for a building that's been done. So basically you're looking at the areas of the complex to work out what, if there's any asbestos in each of those areas, and what samples have been taken. So this is for a body corporate, so it's 27 residential units, and also there's some commercial properties in there at the time, and the asbestos has been identified in the roof sheeting. So we'll have a look at here. So our first section we're looking at is the driveway. There's no suspected asbestos in this area here, so we're only looking at the concrete driveway. Okay, so in the main building here, they've got rendered walls. There's no asbestos that's been suspected in there. Now we can see in here we're looking at the fibro roof panels and also the barge sections in here. So there's been a sample that's been taken to identify that there's asbestos in that building from there. Now asbestos is alright if it's in good condition and it's tightly bound. So there's the 2 samples that have been taken. Because it's tightly bound, that's most of the particles are encapsulated inside the in the panel, so there's no risk for that to get out and to be airborne. Once you start cutting this sort of stuff, then that's when things start to the risk goes a lot higher. Okay, external access way, so we're looking at mainly timber work. Sometimes you get vermiculite underneath the bottom of your stairways here, and also some of the piping, and also around the outside pits from the plumbing there. Switchboards. Now the older style switchboards usually have asbestos in there in their compressed backing. Your boundary fencing, so this is timber, so that's fine, but at least that way that identifies where the impact is in this building to manage that.